You need computers on the shop floor, whether it's your ERP software, your automation, your robotics, transferring files to your machines, whatever it's going to take, you need to get computers there. And there's a lot of obstacles that start to creep up. I mean, machine shops are not the cleanest places, and even clean machine shops have other contaminants in the air, like oil and metals, that don't play well with computers. So what do you do? Today on Machine Shop Tech Talk, we get into it. Let's check it out. With the industrial Internet of Things becoming more prevalent, we're looking at automation, we're looking at a lot of things. However, machine shops are dirty. Your typical solution is going to be a small PC or a thin client from Dell or Lenovo. There's a bunch of different options out there, and they all have one thing in common. That's what has me here talking today to James from Protectly. Great to be here, James.
Great to have you here.
And we're looking at your units, but let's talk about that common failure point right now. In the common PC, most machine shops are putting on their floor.
It's a fan.
Yeah.
It's a fan, air coming in from the environment, passing over the heat sink with really thin fins.
Yeah.
And anything that's in the air is just going to get sucked in, goes through the fan, gets stuck in the fan, and then it gets stuck in that heat sink. And then the more and more starts to collect, you've got this big dust bunny that grows in it. You're disassembling the machine, you're having to take the machine out of service, you're cycling it. It's just costing you time.
Yeah, and some of you might be watching and you're thinking, well, I've got one and it's not that bad. Couple questions for you. Is it getting slower? So modern PCs, the hotter they get, the slower they run. So if you've had people on the shop floor complaining, or you've been using your computer on the shop floor and you're wondering why it's so dang slow, open it up, have a look at your heat sink, be careful, make sure it's unplugged, follow safe procedures, look them up if you don't know what they are, because you can fry the computer, but have a look. Chances are, even if the fan looks clean, these small fins mentioned are clogged with the oil that's in the air. Even if you have a clean shop, you've got oil, you've got chips, you've got dust particles, if you've got packing or warehousing near where the PCs are, you've got all kinds of contaminants that just kind of wedge themselves in those little fins, and they act like insulators, and then you get the buildup of heat. Which, the one thing, if you've noticed the ones we got down here on the table, I don't know how well you can see it from that angle, but they've got these nice big fins on the outside of the case. So what's the reasoning behind that?
So the reason behind that is really we can pull the heat from that CPU, from that processor, try it directly to the aluminum chassis, and then vent that out through the air as quickly as possible to maintain that environment so that you were really running at maximum efficiency.
And it's on the outside here, right? Because the other ones we're talking about, those fins, those are on the inside near all your sensitive electronic components. Yeah. The cooling fins on the Protectly, you've got a sealed unit, it looks like?
Yeah, it's a generally sealed unit. The fins are all on the outside, and so you can just take an air can or your typical air hose that you've got probably floating around the machine already, and just spray it. Just hit it on the top and try not to get it into the ports, but just spray over the top of it. Yeah. It'll blow any of the dust or any of the contaminants out. And then the goal really is to pull all that heat out from the inside. The inside of it works, so there's some block coolers on the inside of these Vault units.
Well, and that makes a lot of sense. You have it sealed, the cooling's on the outside. So the people out there might be wondering, can I put anything on here? Like if I'm already a Windows user, can I put Windows on this?
Windows on it, no problem. Okay. Linux, no problem. You could put DOS on it, I think. But I probably wouldn't recommend it. There's a lot. Basically, if it runs on a standard PC, it'll run on any of our lineup. They all come with at least 2 network ports.
Okay.
Starting off at 1 gig, 2 1 gig network ports, going all the way up to some of our larger units are dual 10 gig.
Yeah.
A lot of them have 2.5 gig network. So you're really future-proofing the system as well in what you're putting in. Mounting it is really easy. We've got a bunch of different mounting options.
Yeah, and it sounds like with the variety that Protectly offers, that depending on what your needs are, whether you've got an IT professional inside or a contractor you work with outside your company, that working with Protectly, they could find the right solution for their shop floor for their software needs.
Absolutely.
You've got all the mounting options. You've got whatever runs on a normal PC software-wise. We've got the nice passive cooling on the outside of the machine. We don't have to worry about all those contaminants getting in and damaging our sensitive electronics and causing catastrophic failure and downtime on the shop floor, because then you've either got to go without one till your IT person can figure it out. You got to send someone to Staples or Costco or some other reseller to try to grab something in a pinch. Then you got to hope that
your software had it backed up and that your software runs on it, because
there's just a whole lot of options that can happen when a computer system fails. And as the industrial Internet of Things continues to expand into more companies, it's great that they have an option that's going to be reliable. And not to mention, it doesn't look like these are big enough for a standard rotating hard drive.
No, these are all of our units take solid state drives or NVMe, as well as you can put Wi-Fi and or LTE into all of the units. So if you've got a private LTE network or you've got something like that, that's really an option for something that's mobile.
It really sounds like it's a versatile solution, man. And the no hard disk is kind of nice, because the big thing, and you may not know, so if you've got one right now that has the rotating hard disk, it's super sensitive to vibration and being hit and contaminants, again, because it's literally a little nose that goes across the disk, and little particles can get in there and just you lose all your data. So make sure you're backing up your data.
and always be backing up your data.
Yeah.
Like we both have experience with more than we'd like for losing data. You can lose data on solid state as well, but it is much less likely to happen, especially if somebody the forklift bumps the edge of something or somebody runs into it. Far easier to have less things that spin is always better on a shop floor.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks, James.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for checking out the video today with James from Protectly. I hope now you're aware of the options that are out there when you want to get computers onto your shop floor and you don't want to deal with catastrophic failure or unplanned downtime or building some sort of crazy filtered enclosure or running ridiculously long optical cables. Now you know there's a passively cooled option that is simple to keep clean and will get what you need. And they have a lot of variety, so I encourage you to check them out. This is not sponsored content. I do not get rewarded for any of this. I just truly believe that we need to share more of the solutions that are available in manufacturing to bring you the options that matter. I'll have all the links down below that we talked about to information about Protectly, as well as where you can contact James if you've got more questions. They do have offices for global distribution. If you happen to be outside of North America and you're worried, fear not. Check out the website link. It'll redirect you automatically. And if you made it this far, I would really appreciate it if you could click subscribe on the channel, if you could click that like button and follow along and share this with other people you think it would make a difference. Until next time, keep your spindles turning and earning.